big update on that crazy restaurant in Scottsdale. They're reopened 5 p.m. seating. What's actually going on there? And we'll hear from the PR company that said, we don't want to work with you either. Welcome to the Mike Broomhead Show.
I got a message. I got a song. Can I get a witness? Tell me what's going on.
So let's recap. Andrew, let's walk through this. Now, we don't know for certain at this moment that Jason Rose quit. I'm assuming Jason Rose quit. We'll find out because he's going to join us in a few minutes, right?
Yeah, he might not say why either.
Yeah. Jason Rose is a public relations guru here in Arizona and is known really as one of the most powerful PR guys in the Valley. Let's face it. That's just what he does. He's good at what he does. Has worked for some of the biggest and most controversial people in the state of Arizona. Worked with Sheriff Joe on his campaign. He worked with Phil Gordon when Phil Gordon was running around the country using the word Nazi about Arizona. He worked with Scott Bungard, when Bungard was dumb enough to call the Barry Young show. And you could just hear Rose in his office screaming, "No!" when that phone call came in from Bungard to the Barry Young show. By the way, I saw Barry the other day, and it's really, Barry, you gotta talk. You gotta say, "Hello, Mr. Young." He's getting a little hard of hearing, the old guy, the poor guy. It's like, "You're looking well today, Barry," as he eating his soup during the commercial breaks. So anyway, Scott Bungard called the Barry Young show.
It's Metamucil.
Oh, it is Metamucil. Okay, I thought it was soup. Okay, he eats Metamucil with a spoon too, does he? I get it. Anyway, but he still wears skinny jeans and loafers without socks. I can't figure that out.
He's a hip guy, Mike.
Well, no, he broke a hip. Isn't that right? Isn't that okay? I guess the rule should be you shouldn't dress hip when you're old enough to break one. I think that should be the rule. Anyway. But who am I to give fashion advice, right? You see me, T-shirts every day. So anyway.
Sometimes with sleeves.
So we don't know that Jason Rose left Amy's Baking Company as a client. They may have fired him. I don't know. We'll find out from Jason Rose in a few moments. But we do know that Gordon Ramsay has worked on 2 continents with his show, Kitchen Nightmares. And he has helped restaurants infested with bugs. He's helped restaurants with owners that have never opened a restaurant before. He's worked with restaurants that have been close to a couple of $1 million in debt. And he's had some big success.
100 shows.
Right.
100 different restaurants.
And most of them returned to success. Some of them have closed down. We know that he hasn't been 100% successful. But one thing that's never happened is that Gordon Ramsay has never gotten up and said, "You people are out of your mind, I quit." And that's exactly the first time in the history of his show that's what he did. Now, the accusation being made by the owners of this restaurant has been that they were set up, that their character was besmirched, that they were lied about by the TV show Kitchen Nightmares. They had a press conference set for this afternoon. They were going to have a big, grand reopening. And then they said, "We've had so many reservations that we're making it a grand reopening week."
Did you see how many reservations they have?
Yes.
1,500.
Okay. Now, we have a listener. His name is Dennis. That was one of the few people that was invited to the prime seating at 5 p.m. He's at Amy's Baking Company as we speak, unless I'm being set up by the guy, right? Here's the last email I got from him. "Honestly, it's a morgue. No TV, about 12 people outside, 4 security guards, a few police, and they're still not letting people in." And that was at 6 minutes after 5 for the 5 p.m. seating. So how accurate that is, I don't know yet. But is the bloom off the rose, no pun intended?
So much for being prompt for your customers.
Exactly.
We'll open at 5-ish.
And when you have almost as many security guards as customers, it's either a bad restaurant or it's a rap concert. It's one or the other.
You didn't hear, Mike?
What?
This restaurant's going to be on public relations nightmares, too. I don't know if you heard that.
Well, I want to ask Jason Rose that because, we know about their Facebook page debacle. We know what she has said publicly on Yelp before. They said their Facebook page got hacked. Actually, we put the documents up where the PR company that represents Kitchen Nightmares, not the network, but Kitchen Nightmares, the studio that owns Kitchen Nightmares, sent them a letter, basically a cease and desist letter that said, you signed a contract. If you go into the press and start bad-mouthing this show, you are liable for $100,000 each. You and your husband or you and your wife, whichever, you're each liable for $100,000 in damages if you do it. So they canceled the press conference but said we're going to open anyway. And at this point, we had Jason Rose, his company, was sending us the email saying, here, and we got the documents. We put the letter up on the webpage yesterday, right? KFYI.com, keyword Broomhead. And also, the second page of that email was something from GoDaddy kind of acknowledging that their webpage had been hacked or something.
Yeah, and giving them recommendations on how not for this to happen again.
Right. Okay. Whatever. So they were saying they didn't say those things to the customers, although they'd said them in the past.
They said them on the show.
Right.
They almost got the husband almost got in a fight with one of the customers in the first 3 minutes.
How bad do you have to be to run off Gordon Ramsay and Jason Rose? I mean, what kind of a nightmare, no pun intended on the TV show, what kind of a nightmare to deal with do you have to have those two people say, I can't work with you? I mean, they work with some pretty big egos, both of those guys. I'm anxious to hear what Rose has to say. Do you have that montage? I want you to hear this. Andrew put together some of what we thought were the best sound bites of the Kitchen Nightmares episode in which ABC, Amy's Baking Company, was featured, is a good word to say. Hear this.
This finally happened. After almost 100 Kitchen Nightmares, I've met two owners who I could not help. And it wasn't because I didn't want to. It was because they are incapable of listening. And in a short period of time, they've managed to piss off the community.
If anyone tell me that my wife's food is no good, I just tell him to leave the restaurant. I don't want them and don't come back.
You're saying that I have fired 50 staff since Jessica was here. You're saying that?
I am.
Can you prove that to me?
Here we
50
go again.
Staff?
Look at your eyes.
That's because you're saying
lies. Look how bitter you are. Have you not had a turnover of more than 50 people?
She was wrong. 100 or even more than 100. Wow. Yeah, not only 50,
so
100.
The stats are actually worse than she told me.
Yes, it's worse, yes.
Sammy and Amy continue to blame everyone else, yet their biggest problem is themselves. And I know, whatever changes I would have made, they were never going to stick to them. And that's why I've decided to do something I've never done before. It's such a shame.
So, he's out. I half expected the season 2 would start with him going back. I don't think so. So we should play the game. We should all have a bet. Is it what's going to happen? Are we going and when? Are we going to get another public outburst from Amy from ABC or from Sammy, her husband? Or option number 2 will the restaurant close completely before that happens? Or C would be all of the above. What do you think, Andrew?
I definitely think you said A, right?
A would be
not 1, 2, 3. It's ABC.
ABC. Right? A would be.
That's ironic.
Right. No. A would be. Do we get another outburst?
Oh, that's definite.
Okay.
Now people are expecting it. That's part of the allure of this restaurant now. Now, if they embrace it a little, maybe they'll have people come. I don't know if he'll shut down. Do you? I mean, the restaurant business is cutthroat. 1 in 10 survive after the first year. So I don't know. It's got to be based on the food, and if she's not willing to change, that sometimes spells doom for the restaurant business.
But do you think that they will just close and go away, or do you think that there will be an outburst and then they'll close and go away? I mean, that's my question. What's going to happen with these people? More than anything else, that's my biggest my biggest question. I just wonder what they're going to do.
Do you think Jason Rose had tasted their food?
I don't know. I'm going to ask him.
That's a great question.
All right, here's what we'll do. Listen, right now, 602-260-KFYI. I'm going to take a very quick break. What we'll do every day at this time is get you a traffic update. If there's things going on the freeway that are in your way, traffic department's going to tell you an alternate route. As soon as the traffic report is over, it's only a 2-minute break. We're going to talk with Jason Rose. He was the big PR guy that was hired to fix this restaurant's image. For whatever reason, they've parted ways. I've got to find out how a restaurant runs off Gordon Ramsay and Jason Rose and survives. We're going to ask the question next.
Jim Sharp, weekday mornings at 5:06. News Talk 550 KFYI.
All right, Andrew, update email. Update email from listener Dennis. He said it was supposed to open at 5. I got this email at 5:18. Was supposed to open at 5. We were just seated. Amy sighting confirmed. Sammy seemed pretty cool. So far, so good. 2 minutes into the restaurant, still no explosion. They're doing much better than last time. Okay, they run off Gordon Ramsay. They have a huge public relations nightmare. They become an internet sensation for all the wrong reasons. They were called the biggest social media blow up of all time by BuzzFeed. So they hire what's known as one of the most powerful PR firms, and they list on their website crisis management. If you got something going on, you hire Jason Rose. Well, I don't know if they fired Jason Rose or if Jason Rose, threw up his hands and left. We're going to find out because he joins us. Mr. Rose, welcome to the show. Hello, Jason. Oh, gone. We lost him. We lost Jason Rose. All right, well, we'll get him back. We're going to try to get him back. We'll find out what's up. I don't know what happened. Oh, it's ringing again. Let's find out if that's Jason Rose. I got so many questions I got to ask him. That is him? Okay, I don't know what I did. Let me see. Jason, you there?
I'm back, brother.
Okay, thanks. So fill us in. What happened? What was the falling out? Was it just a mutual parting of the ways, or what happened with the two of you?
No, we made a decision. We had too many strategic differences, and that's okay. It's the client's decision to make, but we just thought it was an opportune time with the restaurant reopening with 1,000 reservations, the busiest that they've ever been in their history. Would be an opportune time to say, we wish you luck. We have some professional disagreements. No problem. We wish you well.
I'm sure you're not going to get into specifics about individual clients, but you list on your website crisis management, and let's face it, you're very good at working with clients when things happen and are not going their way to kind of stem the tide and turn things back in public image. What kind of challenges when you face something with a client? How much of the responsibility falls on them to acknowledge there's some changes they have to make in order to change their public image?
Well, it's interesting. Every client's different, and I liken it to being a doctor. While everyone has an opinion about what should and shouldn't be done, when you go into the heart surgeon and you got some plaque in there, and you need to clean out, you need to tune up. You're typically not necessarily arguing a lot with the doctor, right?
Right.
And again, it's not our decision. We're not the client. It's the client's decision. But there were things that we agreed on, and there's things that we disagreed on, and that's their right. But we have gone through some pretty serious storm clouds over the years and come through the other side. And so everything that we recommend is not always perfect. But it's kind of if you're a starting pitcher in baseball and you win a lot more than you lose, you tend to have a pretty good season. And that was kind of the path that we were going down with these guys. And that it didn't work out, it's okay. It was the ultimate challenge. It was almost a public relations reality show with the challenge that we were facing.
That's what Andrew said the next show is going to be Public Relations Nightmares. It's going to be another television hit series, we think. We'll call it PR Nightmares instead of Kitchen Nightmares.